Welcome back, folks. It's been a warm minute. Not hot, but warm. Just like a little bit of time, but more than average, but not super hot. Get my drift. Anywho, so today I'm going to be talking about sulfur smells and other ghost stories. Ghosts in quotation because I don't believe that anymore. I mean, I'm not saying nothing happens to the spirit, but I'm saying ghosts, as people typically understand them, are false. Sorry, paranormal channels with hundreds of thousands of views, you're wrong. Anywho, so this movie, Moment of Contact, Varginha, I'm probably saying that wrong, Brazil. The Being, which is 99.99% a P52J rod, just by its height, its description, color of its skin, the dark brownish skin, and kind of the the shape of his forehead, this and that. Anywho, I'm on some of this is speculative, but I'm on UFO Twitter now because that's much better than Fecal Book. Fecal Book. No, 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 nope. No, 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 no. UFO Twitter, not Twitter, but UFO Twitter is much better than Fecal Book. And so, these dudes, this dude who also had red eyes, which is probably similar to the Magina's boa suit red eyes. There are people saying that the individual or individuals itself smell like sulfur, and the craft smell like sulfur. And I saw some hypothesis about, oh well, it's an ammonia-based being, so excretes this type smell, blah 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 blah. But there's an important CT profile point that I've corroborated with my friend in Colorado who's a Magina experiencer, and one of the gurus, Ryan Musgrave Evans, who's been a Magina experiencer his whole life, and that the sulfur smell, and I talked about it a little bit in other videos, is a residual effect of portal tech being used. So, like I said, this is speculative. I don't know. Maybe this is a hypothetical, but maybe the craft itself, everyone in the craft, the being itself, had been through portals shortly before this scent had been discovered, so to speak. So, I think it's important to kind of look at that piece of evidence. And rotten eggs is also an associated smell with this, and that kind of leads into the next bit, which is based on ghost stories, part speculative on motivations, but now I know that ghost stories, and a lot of the paranormal community is going to hate me for this, but I'm a bearer of the truth, so I don't care about these types of things. I fly the flag of truth. Smoke that up your pipe, or shove that up your pipe and smoke it. So, not saying what happens to spirits after we pass away. That's not what this is about. This is about paranormal activity and what it really is. So, basically, with the help, once again, Ryan Musgrave Evans' CT profile in this first edition of the Bible, Modern Day Bible, Children of Orion, Finding the Cryptoterrestrials, basically outlines that the vast majority of paranormal activity can be, for the most part at least, the broad strokes, associated with what he calls the CT profile. And then there's multiple things on the internet. There's shadow figures, there's poltergeist activity, missing time, various different things associated with that. And I wish I had a cheat sheet so I could just have it all listed in front of me and do that. I don't know if one exists yet, but I'm gonna have to go through that book sometime and make one. But I emailed him several months ago and talked about sulfur, because my friend had poltergeist activities, and he also had sulfur smells. And Ryan kindly informed me that that was a residue of portal tech being used, and there are various different types of sounds associated with the portal depending on how big it is, or how many individuals or how many pieces of tech are being moved through, going through the like small pops like a whippersnapper to crash like, with a medium, and then a boom, which is more like a big one. And they also have at least in ufology and reports, an orange light. I think one of my experiences outside the window was an orange light. No, it was an orange light, so it's definitely very strong evidence of portal tech being used. Anywho, so this all kind of goes down to the smell of sulfur rotten eggs, and I wanted to get into some new ghost stories, or at least one new ghost story where this type of smell was observed, and it's from somebody I know, a friend of mine in Colorado. I talk about Colorado a lot because I used to live there. But her mom, her aunt, her mom's sister, passed away, and a day after this happened, there was in her mom's bedroom there was a strong rotten foul stench. So like rotten eggs slash sulfur, and she felt a presence in the room. And the family dog, was clearly uncomfortable, all riled up. And dogs, as we know, or as some of us know, they detect CTs they can detect them. And it sensed this presence, and the dog was very agitated. This is just speculation. I cannot even pretend to know the motives of cryptoterrestrials, the future humans. But let's throw out the idea that perhaps that our belief that these activities are ghosts or spirits kind of gives them shielding to kind of teleport in when a loved one dies, and for whatever reason maybe examine the family, maybe examine how we deal with death, or just as a curiosity. It's like, okay, somebody died, we can come in here and make, residue of our presence might not matter as much, just because the archaic humans will think, oh, it's just a ghost or a spirit. And it's kind of like good cover. It's just like, oh, okay. They'll think it's just they're dead folk visiting one last time, and kind of scurry off. And that's a theory. But another more high profile case, rocker, as I am a rocker, Sammy Hagar of his own band, and Van Halen, and his first band, which I can't remember, which I should, but just too many bands floating around. He has reported UFO abductions or interactions and ghost slash poltergeist activity. And as far as the UFO thing, he this is broadly paraphrasing because I haven't looked at the case in a long time. He had mentioned seeing them or hearing them talking about him in another room, and then like the transmission being cut off, like numbers flashing in front of his face, and then like a zip out, which was kind of similar to my CE5 experience. But he'd also had mentioned a ghost experience, which was something along the lines of his father had passed away, and then shortly after that happened, a young version of his father came to the door, and I guess his father was an alcoholic, knocked on the door and said, "Hey, do you want to some sort of drinking? Hey, let's get lit," or I'm paraphrasing, but some sort of drinking salute. and then he told him to go away, and then like 5 minutes later, I guess Sammy was half out of it. Um, he had received the phone call that his father had passed away. So I mean, it's hard to put. I can't ascribe motivations for that, but knowing CTs and their tech, emulating other people. I mean, it's happened. It's happened with people I've known before that have had doppelgangers of themselves in their own house while these events have taken place. So I guess because kind of the loose hypothesis I'm stringing on this is perhaps that when someone passes away and you get all kinds of weird paranormal poltergeist type activity, maybe the CTs, Magina, Sebechina, I don't know too much about P24s and P45s if they're still even dealing with this regularly. But any of one of those folks with sufficiently advanced technology might kind of waltz in and lollygag about while we're just kind of scratching our heads going, oh, the spirit. And no disrespect to spirits, we don't know what goes on with spirits, but it could be a perfect subterfuge for CT activity. And that's where we stand with this one.